Mindfulness awareness. This video I'm going to share with you mindfulness awareness. This video I'm going to share with you the practical ways of practicing mindfulness awareness, my perspective on mindfulness awareness, and where it's supposed to end and where it's supposed to take you. And here's to answer the first question. It never ends. It never ends. It's a new framework we adopt. It's a dimensional framework. Everything in life are dimensional frameworks. I give the example of dimensional framework. If someone that comes back from World War II and versus someone that never went to the military and served, who has the dimensional awareness of a peripheral hearing and a peripheral outlook, peripheral vision. We adopt dimensional awarenesses throughout life based on the journey, the events we put ourselves through, the events we go through. We become creatures with more antennas, creatures of more awareness. Mindfulness awareness is just one awareness of many hundreds, maybe thousands that we don't know about, hundreds, tens and hundreds of different types of dimensional awarenesses. Now, this is just one, but this dimensional awareness this mindfulness awareness practice will give you inner engineering insight of yourself, of how your programming works, how to break your programming, how to break your framework, how to communicate with your inner, whatever terminology you want to call it, inner child, inner conditioning, inner preconditioning, inner paradigm, the way we are built, our hardwirings, our neural pathways, the way it connects. So mindfulness awareness allows us to get to know ourselves better on a, what I call the ultimate truth state. Mindfulness awareness could be difficult in the beginning. It was for me. It took me 1.5 years to understand mindfulness awareness. It took me 1.5 years to go through trial and error. And very fortunately, I had a Buddhist mentor who I constantly went to every time when I thought I had mindfulness awareness. And 3 times I went to him, he told me no. On the fourth time I visited him, he says, "You got it now." So I really believe, and I see that it's either a deep inner passion that we have. We can't cheat the process. We cannot escape from saying, "I think I got it," or saying, "I have it," and then assuming that the next practice, the next teaching, you're gonna understand. In fact, it gets more difficult if we don't have the true, genuine understanding of mindfulness awareness. If we, for instance, tell someone, "Hey, I got it now, give me the next practice," and they give it to you, you'll most likely practice the practice in the wrong way, and you will end up hurting yourself, spiritually, physically, mentally, in any aspect. Mindfulness awareness, it's a beautiful thing. It only gets more beautiful. It gives us more truth than what the world and what maybe other people can't tell us. It gives us self-liberation. Have you ever had those moments where you get goosebumps so high, you got mountains on your skin, but you're all by yourself? That's the type of self-liberation, self-enlightenment, or call it self-happiness that you can encounter. So enough of the theory talk. of my perspective of mindfulness awareness, how do you practice this? What does it look like? Mindfulness awareness, I think, basically starts with what they call in the spiritual realm, not the matrix realm, okay? In the matrix realm right now, it's probably called mindfulness awareness. In the current realm, we call it mindfulness awareness. The reason why I say it like this is to help you understand there's different dimensions we live in. And it sounds a little bit far-fetched, it sounds a little bit crazy right now. But hey, everybody is right in their own ways. It is crazy right now, okay? If you think it is. It's okay what you think, just be mindful and know, hey, why do I think it's crazy, okay? Always questioning yourself, why did I just think of this? Why did I just think of that? Why did I just do this? Why did I just react that way? Why did I just say this? Why did I feel this when someone said something? It's always constantly looking inwards. It's the third eye. I'm sorry, it's the sixth chakra that we practice on. The sixth chakra is also in another terminology, the third eye. Okay. What comes to my mind right now is maybe you're thinking of sixth sense and all this stuff. Let's throw that out the window really quick so let's empty our cups by removing that out of the cup right now, removing that out of our mind, emptying that cup and going, okay, let's pour things, let's get rid of all the beliefs, maximum beliefs, limiting beliefs, or just beliefs, neutral beliefs, whatever we have, let's just empty that cup. Because without emptying it, there's no point of stepping into any practice. There's no point of stepping into any new learnings, because our brains can't intake that information. Subconsciously, it just won't. So using our sixth chakra, which is right here, they call it, okay, to constantly monitor ourselves. Now, in the beginning, you may only be able to do it 2 or 3 times throughout the day, which is fine. Be mindful, hey, I noticed that the mindfulness awareness isn't there. Don't beat yourself up over it. Don't have that self-talk of, oh my God, I'm never gonna get this. This is never gonna. I'm never gonna get this. This is too hard. This is too anything. No, those are all limiting beliefs. Again, those are all limiting thoughts, self-talk, self-awareness, also known as self-love. How we talk to ourselves. Hey, Paul, it's okay. Use your own name. Hey, Paul. Hey, Derek. It's all right. My name is Derek. Hey, Derek. It's fine. Get back into it, right? It's aware that we skipped. It's aware that we're not aware, and then coming back and being aware. And it's practicing that practice every day for the next 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, 1 year, 10 years, 40 years, 80 years. It's just, then eventually, somehow, some way, it becomes your framework. And your framework means your subconsciousness. Your subconsciousness means your new programming, your new pre-programming, okay? Now, you got to get this down to the point where it's your framework, meaning it's autopilot, meaning you're doing it, not realizing it, okay? Because without that, when we don't accomplish that, when we don't have that framework, when we don't have that bullet, and I hand you the gun, you can't shoot. It's either going to fire or it's not going to fire. It's either doesn't have enough powder, maybe it doesn't really have the right millimeters of shell, whatever you want to call it, casing, right? I'm just using the gun analogy, or, I can give you the computer, but if you don't have the power plug, it ain't going to power on, right? So it's really important that we have this framework. Be passionate about the framework. Don't be passionate about the process. Don't be passionate about the end goal. Don't be passionate about getting somewhere. Empty that cup. I'm not going anywhere. I just want this one practice to work. And this practice works in everyday life, everyday business life, personal life, love life, relationship life. That's, I believe, how I could give you a practical practice of practicing mindfulness awareness. It's being mindfulness of our thoughts first. All right. Now it gets a little bit deeper here. You could be mindful in so many dimensional ways now. All right. But mindfulness is just what you want to say, maybe one tool. Or maybe it's let's just say mindfulness practice is the screw gun. All right, the DeWalt screw gun, the snap-on screw gun, the one that you put the battery under. Okay, I use two analogies because that's what comes to my mind. And the different mindfulnesses of dimensional practices could be different types of sockets, different types of heads, different types of connectors, different types of so-and-so. So without mindfulness, we can't attach different accessories. We can't attach different tools that we could use for the mindfulness practice. Okay. So the different types of accessories of mindfulness practice right now we can look at is mindful of the 5 aggregates, mindful of the 5, what we call 5 poisons in the Tibetan world. The 5, I'm not going to get into the theory talk of all those other things. It's staying on this topic of the 5 aggregates. And what are those 5 aggregates? What are those 5 poison? What are those 5 things that we were born with? It's what we see, what we smell, what we taste, what we hear, what we feel. Okay. Just now, it's going to be confusing. It's going to be discouraging because the brain is constantly looking for this when you're practicing this practice. It's not something that the brain is hardwired to do. So this is the reason why it's so hard, because you have to hardwire it by constantly doing it, and then it becomes a hardwiring. Following me? It's when something is not in our innate hardwiring, not something that we're born with, it's hard because we're trying to consciously stay focused on it when we have to use the consciousness for so many other things in life. But I can promise you it paid off for me. I hope that it pays off for you. It may not pay off for you, but it could, all right? Depends how passionate you are. Depends if you feel like, I don't really need this. This is just some shmomy, baloney stuff maybe for you. Cool. It is what you say it is, okay? It is what it's going to be, what you assume it's going to be. So, number one is our thoughts. Okay, what's happening in our minds. Okay, it's watching the thoughts. It's watching. It's not stopping. All right, this is meditation. Look at mindfulness awareness as walking meditation, awake meditation. Okay. When they say, meditating is closing your eyes and sitting and breathing and focusing on your breathing, yeah, because you're mindful about your breathing, right? Your mind is full of just breathing. Your mind is just full of being conscious of your thoughts. Your mind is full of focus on your emotions. Your mind is full of what you're smelling. Oh, I'm smelling this right now. I'm smelling this. Just say it out loud to yourself several times to query your brain that you're smelling. And why is this important? Because this is only important because you're starting. This constantly reminding yourself to smell something for the next 20 years it won't happen that way, because you'll just automatically be mindful of everything you do. Okay? Now, a little bit deeper of a perspective of mindfulness awareness, after you understand this understanding of being mindful of your 5 senses, you being mindful of all your thoughts, emotions, reactions, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, eventually you open up neural pathways in your brain that you normally don't use. There's the reason why they say that the brain is only used 10% of the times or 5% of the times, maximum 10. But when you're starting to access other neural pathways in our brains, you start to get deep insight within yourself. You start to hit the enlightenment moment, like, oh, wow, I see life like this now, because it's a new dimension, it's a new perspective, and you have a different way of seeing life, okay? You have a different way of seeing your own life, your own process, your own failures, your own successes, which when you come to some deep enlightenment, you never see failure as failure or success as success. It's just another event. It's just another moment of event, a series of events, a moment of events, series of events, okay? But I don't want you to take that and make it your ego of, oh my goodness, I need to achieve that, okay? Remember, empty that. There is no achievement here, all right? This is just a practice. In the Buddhist realm, in the Tibetan Buddhist practice realm, in that dimension, we don't say I've mastered something. There's no such thing as mastering something. The word mastering something is just another preconditioned word in our minds that we are the best, or we have an ego to something, that we need to be the best of something. There's no such thing as I've mastered. There's no such thing as I'm the best. It's either you understand it or you don't. It's either you have, it's either you're practicing it every moment, every day and every month and every week, or you're not practicing it. It's either I'm practicing mindfulness awareness or I am not practicing mindfulness awareness. It's not, oh, I've mastered mindfulness awareness, because we can't really master anything, okay? So, being mindful of the thoughts and words we're using is another crucial thing, all right? So, right now, when we start to practice, this is the perspective sharing of the deeper parts of mindfulness awareness. It gives us more what we call ultimate truth realizations, ultimate truth ways of thinking, ultimate truth ways of creativity. We're not mindful of how the brain works, because we can't if we don't practice mindfulness. So we're not let's just say somebody asks you a question, what would you do in this life problem here? You're definitely, probably, most likely 9 times out of 10 respond or maybe react from a very conditioned moment, conditioned event in our subconscious brain. Like, oh, do this. But you never really thought about it, because you just reacted to that. And that's a query to let you know, oh, I'm very reactive. I'm reacting to someone's question because my dad does it that way, or my uncle does it that way, or somebody I saw on TV does it that way, or somebody I saw on YouTube does it that way, or somebody I heard in an audiobook does it that way, or a podcast does it this way. That's a reactive brain. That's the 10% brain. That's the 5% brain, okay? The reactive brain is generally more active than our conscious brain or our other parts of the brain. So the mindfulness practice gets us to practice other parts of the brain more, to work with the reactive auditory system brain, the RAS brain, okay? They call it the reactive auditory system brain. So the reactive auditory system is constantly reacting in life, and that's the reason why they say we live 98% of our lives based on that brain. And we become emotional creatures, we become what are those words? Unhappy, right? You can call it, but the reason why we're unhappy is because we can't access the other parts of the brain to get the ultimate truth. We can't understand ourselves. We're frustrated. We're scared. We're living in fear. We're facing all these emotions. Why? Because the emotions come from the reactive auditory system, and the reactive auditory system is designed to keep you alive. So the brain that keeps you alive is supposed to be generally more negative. Why? So that you don't take so much risk, so that you don't do the wrong things in life, or you can get killed by something, or lose your job and not have money to pay your bills and a house and make a living, so that it's part of the reactive brain. It constantly helps you react, which is a beautiful thing, but it's also important that we learn and understand ourselves to use other parts of the brains that we normally don't use. And I know that probably is confusing again, but when we are mindful and we don't react to things, and we allow the brain to think for itself, what does it look like? A practical practice of not reacting, all right? When somebody says something unpleasant to you and you feel this this quick reactive impulse of defending yourself or saying something to let them know, no, it's not what you think, or saying something bad back to them because someone's taught you to defend yourself, to stand up for yourself, to don't let somebody bully you, so you have to stand up and say something back to them, right? This is a very reactive behavior, which doesn't give our brain to access the neural pathways. But what does that mean? That means the moment we don't allow ourselves to react and just kind of like being patient and holding that emotion, but sit on that emotion for the next 2 weeks and just keep thinking about, why did I feel that way? Was it something that happened in my past? Why did I feel like the need to defend myself? Why did I feel the need to say something? Why is that even important? If I did say something and I did get them to change their mind, why is that important again? So constantly being curious about questioning yourself, that's allowing your brain to access those other neural pathways now, right? So when we don't react, that means the reactive brain isn't being active. It's suppressing that brain. So what the exercise of this practice is to suppress the reactive brain more, the reactive brain more, the reactive brain more and more and more, to the point where your brain, survival brain, is now going to go, okay, if you're not going to let me react, you're going to need to go find the answer somewhere else. So it starts to what? Access other neural pathways in our brain, okay? And those neural pathways in our brain are different departments in our brain, and those different departments is our what we call true self, our true nature. Okay, we're allowing not the programming of the parenting and the schools and the media and the past to react for us, but our true self to really think, hey, why am I like this? Why am I like that? Why did they say this and make me feel this way? And when we understand the ultimate truth to that, we start to understand ourselves. We start to see, wow, this is who I really am. This is amazing. This is beautiful, okay? So I hope that long explanation gives you some theory perspective, has maybe... Now, this is just sharing perspective. These videos, these talks are just sharing perspectives, okay? Well, I'm not telling you have to think this way. You have your own way of thinking. Just be mindful of that. You have your own way of doing. And then nobody is right and nobody is wrong, okay? It's the ultimate truth that we're trying to achieve. Is your way going to get to the ultimate truth quicker, or is my way going to get the ultimate truth slower? We're just all trying to find the ultimate truth here. That's what it is at the end of the day. And the ultimate truth topic is a different subject. I'm not going to get into it in this video here. But the ultimate truth is that raw, not the real talk. It's deeper than that. It's not the reality of things. It's deeper than that. It's seeing things in just a different way, in a way that works for you. Okay, it may not work for everybody. Like my way right now may not work for you. Okay, so the question is, this mindfulness awareness is gonna. Oh, I'm sorry. Back to what I was saying. It's not supposed to, I'm not trying to change your mind here. I'm just trying to share a perspective with you to guide you to find your own ultimate truth. We're all gonna find our own ultimate truth at the end of the day. Okay, but the ultimate truth has been buried over layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. Layers meaning years and years of programming from our childhood to our youth to our young adulthood to the TVs we've watched and all the communities we've been involved. It's buried our true identity, and when we don't have a true identity, that's where we get confused and frustrated and not understanding where to even start. Many people goes, I don't know where to start, or I don't know what to do. It's because all these subconscious voices, thoughts of people, self-judgment, other people of judgment, fear, what is my parents gonna say? All this is happening all at the same time, blocking the ultimate truth, okay? So how do we unlock all those things and thoughts and events and memories, and just remove all of those so that we can see the bright light shine within us, so that the bright light is not covered in mud, you know what I mean? So back to the practical side. I hope that kind of right now, this theory talk and practical talk and all this stuff gives you an insight what mindfulness awareness is, how to practice it. And I know I have a lot of stories I jump in and out every now and then, but I hope that it's giving you a different perspective of what mindfulness awareness is, how to practice it. It's just being mindful of one thing at a time, okay? Just practice with one thing at a time, because once you get one thing, you can automatically be mindful of 2 things at the same time, be mindful of 3 things at the same time, 4 things, 5 things. And when you're mindful of those 5 things, okay, beautiful things happen, okay? It's the same thing as you can't walk before you crawl, so you gotta learn how to crawl first. Mindfulness awareness allows you to crawl your brain, okay? Because many times, many people in this world, we live this life where we're not able to crawl our brain. We live in the same place, which is the reactive brain, forever until the day we die. So it's so beautiful in this galaxy, they call it, right? This universe up here. There's so much happening that we don't see it. It's all subconscious. Mindfulness awareness is the tool to unlocking how you could see all that right in front of you, So I hope that this allows you to start today, right now, immediately. Don't beat yourself up if you don't get it every day. It's making sure you just check in with yourself one time a day. How am I feeling? Where's my thoughts? Interesting. Why did this person say one thing to me and it made me feel this? But why did I feel anger? Okay. Being mindful of our memory too. Okay. The thoughts, the memory. Congratulations on clicking this video and watching this video and getting through this 27-minute talk here. So if you have any questions, comment below. I do my best to respond back to you guys there. And yeah, I wish you guys all the best on your journey to find your ultimate truth. I'm here to respond, and if we need to, we can get on a phone call if I'm free. And I'll always make time for people, okay? But leave a comment if you have any questions. For the time being, I love you guys. Stay safe out there in this COVID time. This is the time to grow. This is the time to just make use of those times wisely. It's a Saturday. I'm going to work right now because I want to get my business ahead. So that way when COVID is over with, we can travel the world and do everything we want to do. I'm going to get my pilot license and I'm going to fly all over the world because I don't have any limiting beliefs in that realm anymore. So I only implore you guys to stay consistent with this practice, okay? Have a great day. Bye.